welcome back. If you're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, time to touch base with the management of Indian Bank. They delivered a robust Q3, but the big question right now is whether or not the asset quality has bottomed out. So let's touch base then with Padmaja Chunduru. She's the MD and CEO at Indian Bank. Padmaja, thank you so much for joining us this morning. What were the factors which led to the strong growth in operating profits as well as profit after tax?
It's not only this quarter, actually. If you see right after 1st April, once the amalgamation has come into force, all the 3 quarters the bank has been consistently growing and also making good profits. Yes, this quarter the net profit crossed 500 crores. But I think we are on the right track. What really worked was the focus on both business and asset quality. If you see, the growth has been steady. Yes, it was a bit muted till now. Even now, RAM sector has grown quite appreciably. Corporate sector will, I think, take off in the coming quarter. But all said and done, the growth has been, as per our projections, a little muted than the projections. I expect that in the 4th quarter we will be able to meet the goals. As far as asset quality is concerned, I think our continuous focus on credit monitoring, we've been saying this again and again, that our, the granular way we monitor the loans and recovery, the collection percentage itself, the collection efficiency has improved, and through the COVID period, this focus has remained. While we have extended all help to the customers in terms of restructuring or in terms of extension of other facilities the government or the bank itself has given, we have also not lost the focus on the soft recovery that was going on. So that has helped us arrest slippages. Even taking notional NPAs into account, the asset quality, both gross NPA and net NPA, are very much under control. And we have a good visibility about Q4 also. So I expect that this sort of performance should continue in the coming quarters, especially with the amalgamation taking off smoothly and the synergies now coming into force almost fully. I think that is the way to look at the bank. From the capital side also, we have been able to raise 4,000 crores in the recent past at reasonably good competitive rates, and we are also, it is at 14.06% now, capital adequacy. We expect that we will retain a good capital ratios going forward also. So all things came together.
Right, ma'am. Thanks for giving us a comprehensive review of what happened in the quarter gone by. A lot of factors seem to have come together to help you. But what's the outlook on asset quality? If you look at the NPAs on gross and net levels, sure, they've moderated, but the pro forma numbers are still quite large. And I believe the pro forma NPAs are around 5,200 crores. So what's the nature of these accounts, and are they likely to normalize going forward?
So you're asking about the notional NPAs, which would have turned NPAs had the Supreme Court dispensation not been there. That is about 5,200 crores. And the interest that has accrued on them, which would eventually, if they all turn out to be NPA, which would have to be reversed, is around 400 crores. But that said, we have made a 21% to 21.5% provision on this 5,200 crores. A part of it, about 1,350 crores, actually is under restructuring under the new RBI dispensation, and that once it is implemented, that would come back into standard category. Apart from that, the 400 crores that I mentioned about the interest that has to be reversed if they turn NPA, that also has been provided for as a cushion. So I think we are well prepared to take the hit if and when it comes. It may not happen to the extent that we have projected, because the restructuring, I expect, would be implemented within the timelines, and we would be able to reverse those assets into standard category. So I think by and large the asset monitoring quality is under control. Yes, we have a visibility about what will happen in Q4. We do make a very granular analysis, especially in the agriculture, which was an issue in the Austral Allahabad Bank. But once the merger happened, we have been taking a very focused view on that portfolio and have been able to bring it back or renew or whatever OTS, whatever needs to be done is being done. And in the next quarter also we will complete that exercise. So apart from agriculture and corporate also we have a visibility about the accounts that might slip in the fourth quarter. Some will be restructured, some will eventually probably slip. But whatever we are making prudential provisions on those accounts also. So I expect that the gross NPA and net NPA will remain within the 10% and 3% mark for March 21. And going forward with all these benefits of amalgamation actually playing out, we expect a better performance in the coming year.
And from here on out, what's the outlook on provisioning?
So we have made, as I mentioned, on the regular accounts, whatever aging provision needs to be made has been made. So the provisions are all as per the RBI guidelines. In fact, on the notional NPAs, we have made 21.5% additional cushion is there, which has not yet happened in the net NPA calculations. If that is taken into account, if both the notional NPAs and the provision on those NPAs is taken into account, then the ratios would have been 10.3 and 3.4 for gross NPA and net NPA. But I think with all the measures that the bank is taking and the expected recovery in the fourth quarter, we would still be able to keep the provisions under control, and the provision coverage ratio at 86% today gives us a lot of comfort. Going forward, we do have some visibility about where we would be in March, and ruling out any totally unexpected events. I think we have both the provisions and also the asset quality issues under control.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great to get perspective from you on all that's happening at Indian Bank. But it seems to be a morning of banking here on ET Now. We're now going to be joined by the management of DCB Bank. That's Mr. Murali M. Natarajan, who's the MD and CEO. Good morning, sir, and thank you for taking out the time to talk to ET Now. While on many counts, it's been, a turnaround quarter for the bank. There's been some good growth in operating profits. It's been offset by a higher provision. So firstly, could you walk us through the difference between the pro forma number